Welcome back to Wesno's Tech News and Reviews. Today we'll be talking about two of the most budget fitness trackers in the world. But not just budget, they're both new and they're both awesome. But one of them is a bit more awesome than the other one. So on my left hand, I've got the Mi Watch Lite. So this is the latest Xiaomi wearable. And on my right hand, I've got the Bip U. So there we go, that's what they look like. So I'll be telling you all about these two trackers, and at the end of this review and comparison, I want to actually summarize the things and I want to come up with a verdict. Which one brings more value to you? Let's get into it. If you are new to Wesno's Tech News and Reviews, we talk about the latest tech news. We do brutally honest reviews and share hacks and tricks along the way. Now, if you've seen my initial impressions review on this one, the Xiaomi Mi Watch Lite, well, you probably noticed that I wasn't exactly, too happy about this tracker. I thought it's a bit underwhelming, and considering it does cost just as much as the Amazfit Bip U, I did expect something a bit more, because when I did order in the Mi Watch Lite, I thought it's going to be basically a lookalike of the Bip U. Because if you think about it, Xiaomi is the mothership, right? Huami Amazfit is actually a sub-brand or the wearable manufacturer for Xiaomi. So I would think that these two smart trackers are actually, one and the same, just, slight shortcuts taken here, something a bit more on the other one. But no, it's completely two different trackers. Anyway, let's get into the detail. Let's start the comparison. We'll kick off with the design, then we'll get into the display, and then we'll talk about the features and functions. So we'll know where the overlaps are and where the gaps are. Okay, so when you actually take a look at these two watches sitting in front of you, you will notice that the Mi Watch Lite actually does look slightly more premium, simply because the glass surface or the glass top is a bit rounded at the edges. Now, if we talk about premium, not really, because both cases are actually plastic. But if the Mi Watch Lite has a rubbery and velvety sort of plastic case, the Amazfit Bip U case is sitting in hard plastic. If we look at the straps, they're both rubbery TPU straps, they're not silicone. But if on the Amazfit Bip U, you've got the generic click-on straps, then on the Mi Watch Lite, you've got the actual tapered or the branded sort of straps, which click into place, but you will have to get them specifically for Mi Watch Lite. While for the Amazfit Bip U, you can just go and get any third-party click-on straps. Both watch clasps are actually the classic watch type clasps, and both of them are very convenient to use, although I would say that the clasp on the Bip U is a bit more standard. It's just so easy to use because we're all used to it. Now, with the clasps, they are plastic, both of them. I think the Mi Watch Lite just tried to make it a bit more special, but really, it's exactly the same. There's not much difference. And if you look at them from afar, they look very similar, except for the fact that on the Bip U, you've got the button on the right-hand side sitting in the middle of the watch case, while on the Mi Watch Lite, the button is actually not as much protruding and is sitting in the top right corner of the watch case. Let's take a look at the displays. So, on both of them, you've got TFT LCD displays. Now, on the Mi Watch Lite, there's a 1.39-inch TFT LCD display, while on the Amazfit Bip U, you've got a 1.43-inch display, so slightly bigger than on the Mi Watch Lite. On top of that, the resolution on the Mi Watch Lite is 320 by 320 pixels, and on the Amazfit Bip U, it's 320 by 302 pixels. And you will actually, if you look at the screens, you will see something interesting. So if the display panel on the Mi Watch Lite is just a square panel sitting in the middle of the watch, on the Bip U, it's slightly more interesting. You've got very soft and rounded corners, which makes it look slightly more elegant. I think that's the word. Another thing that springs up at you as soon as you open up the actual screens and you look at them, take a look for yourself. It's just that the Amazfit Bip U looks a bit more bright. The colors are more deep, and I think it's because the contrast is higher on the Bip U. In regards to display and design, I would say it's equal marks to both of these trackers. I don't think either of them really stands out. They're sort of they're budget trackers. There's nothing too much that's premium about them. They have big screens, obviously much bigger than the competition from the likes of Fitbit Inspire 2 or Samsung Galaxy Fit 2. Anyway, we're done with that. Let's get into the details. First up is sport modes. And straight away, the winner is the Amazfit Bip U because it's got 70 sport modes, right? Both trackers are actually 5 ATM waterproof, so basically water resistant up to 50 meters. But the Mi Watch Lite has only 11 sport modes, which are non-expandable. So if you want a sport profile like dancing or playing tennis, you're not gonna get that on the Mi Watch Lite, and you will have to use the freestyle sport mode. While again, with the Bip U, you've got 70 sport modes to choose from. But the Mi Watch Lite has dual inbuilt GPS, which is great. So you've got GPS and GLONASS sitting right there on your very budget tracker. With the Amazfit Bip U, you will need to use the GPS from your phone, so connected GPS in essence. Both trackers have your sleep covered. So both of the trackers actually monitor your light, your deep and REM sleep. But where the Mi Watch Lite only gives you a score of 0 to 100 and no explanations nor advice in regards to how to improve your sleep quality, the Amazfit Bip U actually does give you guidance and advice on how to improve your sleep quality. So it's slightly a bit more advanced in that regard. So if we are going to omit the basic or the core functionality of a fitness tracker like a timer, stopwatch, weather apps, then we're only left with the advanced features, the features that we love to use on these trackers. So on the Mi Watch Lite, we also have the breathing app. And once again, it does offer slow, moderate, and fast breathing exercises, which are timed, but the graphics, they're just so plain and vanilla. Now, again, some people don't really care or they like that style, which is fine. The Mi Watch Lite also has a compass, which is great considering it does have GPS. But that's about it. I think we're done. There's nothing else that's super advanced or super innovative. Now, what I did expect that the Mi Watch Lite is a Xiaomi wearable, so I would expect that we would see Pi here, the personal activity index. But no, there is no Pi, and Pi is revolutionary. Why? Well, because it basically sums up your respiratory and cardiovascular health in just a single value. So as long as you keep the Pi number above 100, you are statistically 25% less prone to getting heart disease. Now, I would think that all of the Xiaomi wearables would be using or having the Pi value on the smartwatches or fitness trackers. We've actually seen that on the Xiaomi Mi Band 5, but for some reason it's missing from the Mi Watch Lite. Now look, I'm not going to be making any judgment calls whatsoever. I'm just here to review and actually present to you what these trackers can do. So let's go through the functions and features that the Bip U has, which the Mi Watch Lite simply doesn't. So we talked about Pi. What else do we have here? Well, we've got SpO2, aka blood oxygen saturation, and we know that that is a key input. We want to be able to track our SpO2. Even though it's on demand or spot readings available only on the Bip U, it's still better than nothing. Then of course we've got the stress monitor. In fact, you can actually set your stress monitoring up to automatic or throughout the day and night in the Zepp app. We've got cycle tracking, female cycle tracking. Then of course we have this widget called More. And if you recall from the actual reviews of the Bip U, specific ones, we talked about all of the apps in the More widget. And one of the more important ones, or the more useful ones, are actually the Pomodoro tracker. So it's a tracker that can be used to strategically monitor your study or concentration times. Very useful indeed. Then of course there's a world clock, and actually you can set up to 20 different locations. On top of that, there is a function which I consider slightly gimmicky, but it can be fun, and that is the camera remote. So you do get it on the BIPU. Now, I think we've summarized this. It was a very quick comparison because, you know, we've been through the BIPU features and functions so many times in the reviews and previous comparisons. I just didn't want to drag it on. But I did want to highlight the fact that both of these trackers, the BIPU as well as the Mi Watch Lite, basically cost very similar amounts of money. We're looking about 50 bucks, 50 euro or 50 pounds. That's what I actually paid for the Mi Watch Lite. So I got it on Amazon in UK and it cost me 51 pounds. Now I actually paid less for the Amazfit BIPU. I've only paid 40 bucks on AliExpress. And as we can see, it's got so much more functionality. It's got a lot more features. So, better sleep monitoring. You got continuous stress monitoring. You've got much better looking apps, infographics. You've got a Pomodoro tracker. You've got a world clock. You've got a remote camera. And there are 70 sport modes. The only big plus or the big win or the big advantage of the Mi Watch Lite over the BIPU is the fact that it does have inbuilt GPS. Now that is a very cool feature and a very powerful feature, but can that outweigh all the advantages in the features and functions that the BIPU has over the Mi Watch Lite? Well, I guess that's for you to decide, but if it was up to me, I think you know which one I would choose. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this very quick review and comparison, then drop us a like. And if you want to see more of the same, then please subscribe by hitting the red subscribe button and the bell notification below the video. And I'll see you in the next one.